Caitlin Clark takes the floor that maybe is different not only from any player in the WNBA, but from any player in basketball. The Indiana Fever are where they are because of Caitlin Clark. The WNBA is where it is because of Caitlin Clark. The Iowa situation is what it is because of Caitlin.
WNBA is completely shocked by what happened just moments ago. According to insiders, Sophie Cunningham, a star athlete, has experienced a frightening and unexpected setback in her recuperation from an ankle injury. She was expected to return to the court in a few weeks. Now, though, she may not play again this season, if at all, according to insiders. And who was the news' biggest shocker? Caitlin Clark, who was reportedly observed displaying signs of sadness during practice shortly after the news was released. A leaked video of a locker room purports to show Caitlin saying she is among the most resilient people in the world. We should all be afraid if Sophie is. The fans are already in a panic. There is a social media collapse. What about the medical staff? They're keeping quiet and won't provide a complete update. However, we have it. From confidential messages, rumors circulating within the training center, and one pressing emergency meeting that has everyone curious. What does Caitlin know that we don't, and is Sophie's career in jeopardy? You will soon discover. To see why, the WNBA as a whole is in shock at this injury news. You must comprehend Sophie Cunningham's identity and the reasons behind her closer bond with Caitlin Clark than fans ever imagined. Sophie is more than a mere participant. She is a fighter, a leader, a combatant. Sophie, who was drafted in 2019, made her WNBA debut with unwavering determination, fearless enthusiasm, and a reputation for never giving up. Sophie established herself as one of the league's most emotionally tough and physically unstoppable athletes, whether it was a 30-point effort or diving after loose balls in the closing seconds. However, what she carried behind the scenes was not always visible to the public: getting over the pain. Sophie has been silently dealing with recurrent ankle pain for the last 2 seasons. Coworkers took note. It was handled by coaches. However, the general public? Sophie wouldn't let it show, so they never realized how horrible it was. According to one insider, she would wrap that ankle up, get shots before games, and ice after every practice and keep moving. What was she thinking? This league is not sympathetic. Either you arrive or someone else takes your place. But that approach came at a cost. The initial injury alert fans saw Sophie limping in the middle of a game late last season. She played through it. However, after that, for 2 weeks, she vanished without a trace. The group referred to it as rest. Insiders now acknowledge that she almost broke her ankle due to an exacerbated injury. She returned, put up a stronger fight, and grinned throughout each post-match interview, but in private, the agony never went away. And that's why this most recent injury was so frightening. A calm connection with Caitlin. Let's now discuss Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's next big thing, the darling of the media, the phenomenon whose three-point shooting ability leaves people speechless. Off camera, though, most fans didn't realize how close Caitlin and Sophie were. A preseason media day was where it all began. Unintentionally sitting next to each other, the two reportedly clicked right away. They started sending each other texts, off-season training together, supporting one another despite the commotion. One employee remarked, "Sophie kind of mentored Caitlin behind the scenes. She gave her advice on how to deal with stress, keep grounded, and block out hate. She was someone Caitlin admired." According to reports, something inside Caitlin shattered as she heard the words, "It's worse than we thought." What we already knew today. 2 weeks ago, the official report stated as follows: due to an ankle sprain, Sophie Cunningham is not available. She is anticipated to return in 3 to 4 weeks after being reevaluated. That was it. Don't panic, not a drama. So far. Because something changed in the past 24 hours. The doors to the training room were locked. Sophie stopped posting on social media. Additionally, Caitlin Clark, who is renowned for her fire and focus, was observed to be clearly shaken and abruptly stopped practice without giving a reason. According to one witness, Caitlin was crying. She doesn't cry in front of you. Never. There is something seriously wrong. It was a rumor at first, a murmur. Before practice, a silent conversation between 2 assistant coaches was captured on a hot mic. She needs assistance to even walk. So why are 4 weeks stated in the report? The truth could not be contained by that afternoon. The X-ray leak, a since-deleted Reddit post, went viral at 2:43 p.m. What looked to be a medical scan taken inside the WNBA training facility was included in the article, simply captioned, "Sophie's ankle. They misled us." The picture? A sharp fracture across the outer ankle bone, misaligned and displaying early indications of soft tissue destruction, is seen in this close-up X-ray. Commenting experts attested to, sprains are not the same as that type of injury. Time to heal? Not weeks, but months. Complete recovery? Not sure. Like wildfire, the post went viral. Within minutes, screenshots were shared on Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. And each platform's most popular comment? Why would the group hide this? Insider information. An anonymous voicemail to a local sports journalist revealed the identity of a training room helper. They instructed us to be silent. They didn't want to lower spirits. However, she will not be returning this season. That's simply the reality. The topic of when is no longer relevant. It's a matter of whether. All of a sudden, things shifted. It has nothing to do with game time. It has to do with Sophie Cunningham's professional life. Caitlin Clark understands the way Caitlin Clark behaved changed that same evening. She failed to attend the team dinner. She was absent from a movie. Additionally, teammates said that she was irritable, inattentive, and obviously emotional throughout close practice. Then it happened. During a team stretch, Sophie texted Caitlin personally, according to a leaked locker room message that a player's teammate shared. According to reports, the message said, "I wanted to share it with you directly. I might never be 100%, they say. I apologize. I made an effort. I cherish you." According to witnesses, Caitlin turned away, put down her phone, and started crying. Not just another teammate was sidelined for the season. She admired this individual, trained alongside, reliable. Coach breaks down in press conference. During a press conference held after practice, the head coach was questioned about the rumors. He ducked, avoided, then fumbled. "We're assessing. We have hope. Sophie is a warrior. She will return." However, that was no longer sufficient. A reporter retaliated. "You mean the X-ray wasn't real? Do you dispute that she is suffering from damage that will last the entire season?" The coach stopped. Nothing to say. That quiet was heard more loudly than anything else that day. Social media takes off instantly. Hashtags started to gain popularity. Support Sophie, Tmush let her heal, Mush Caitlin cried, Must Sophie Clark bond, Mus they told you a lie. This text message overlay was added to TikTok edits of Sophie and Caitlin giggling during off-season drills. "I might never be completely..." A single fan account was published. She gave this team her all. They also made an effort to conceal the truth. Someone else wrote, "Caitlin's quiet says a lot. Behind the scenes, something occurred." The first significant turnabout. Then the shocking turn that turned everything upside down arrived. Internal emails were disclosed by a team member. One of them? An email exchange between medical staff and top coaches with the following subject line: Re-SC public update. Maintain your positive attitude. One message was read: "Panic is not something we can afford. Make the damage seem doable. Make the timeline ambiguous." No reference to scans. That leak verified everything. Sophie's actual condition was being concealed by the group, not only from admirers, but from Caitlin herself, perhaps. As soon as the internal communications were made public, it was evident. This was no longer merely an injury. At the expense of one of the league's most courageous athletes, this case involved deceit, treachery, and a cover-up designed to preserve the league's reputation. But what nobody anticipated, Caitlin Clark herself could have been a pawn in the whole thing. Caitlin's leaked private messages. The following day, at 10:42 a.m., a fan account shared a grainy screen grab purportedly from a secret team group chat. It was a brief but terrible message. "You guys didn't tell me this. You thought she was all right, so you let me wander around here? I will no longer remain silent." According to insiders, the communication was genuine and not intended for the general public. But after it was leaked, the internet went crazy. Sure, Caitlin was lied to, she safeguarded Sophie, to this ain't family. The fan criticism was harsh. She had no idea how bad it was, and she trained next to her every day. The image, not the players, is protected by this league. This goes beyond sports. This is treachery. The father of Sophie speaks out. Then, suddenly, a fresh voice joined the drama. Sophie's father, Mark Cunningham, who is typically quiet, discreet, and low-key, released a statement via a local sports radio station in Missouri. It was also fierce. "My daughter gave that team her all. She proudly represented this league, laughed through tears, and trained through pain. However, they misrepresented her. They made her suffering seem less severe. Additionally, they concealed information from her closest buddy. I no longer have trust in that organization." Mark demanded an impartial examination of medical handling, a comprehensive declaration from the coaching staff, and responsibility for those who kept the truth from being spoken. Support for him was immediate. A brand new hashtag surfaced. "We stand with Sophie WNBA under attack." Major sports outlets began. To cover the topic as it gained popularity, ESPN published the following headline: "A teammate's injury cover-up caught Clark off guard. League integrity questioned." Report on Bleach. The WNBA's hidden pressure culture is revealed by a startling injury twist. Sports Barstool. Even though they knew the truth, they allowed Caitlyn to cry on camera. Disgraceful. Even well-known athletes commented. Sue Bird posted on Twitter, "Openness, sincerity. These players should at least get that." Sophie's highlight reel was posted by Candace Parker, who captioned it, "You put your all into this league. We recognize you. We have you." Supporters start demonstrations. Outside, Arenas fans started congregating outside the team's next arena game on Friday night. Not to applaud, but to insist on clarification. They displayed signs such as, "Give her some rest." "Quit using Sophie." "Caitlyn was deserving of the truth." "We're observing you." Cameras inside the arena captured Caitlyn staring off into space, distracted, heartbroken. Fans claimed she wasn't herself while she performed. She seemed to be merely going through the motions. The whistleblower unveils another bombshell. The mysterious person who leaked the X-ray reappeared with a second file just when things couldn't get any worse. A recording of sound. A top official may be heard on the recording, which was purportedly recorded during a private staff meeting saying, "We shall be protected by the Clark angle. She represents the future. She will not desert us." Just that sentence light the internet on fire. It became clear that the league relied on Caitlyn's position, her reputation, and her endorsements to keep her quiet. However, that only deepened the betrayal. They safeguarded their brand by leveraging both Sophie's injury and Caitlyn's devotion. Inexcusable. Sophie breaks the silence with her Instagram post. Then it happened. An image in black and white. Sophie is sitting in a rehabilitation room on crutches. No cosmetics. No grin. The caption? "They didn't represent me, so I will immediately. I'm in pain, both mentally and physically. I'm not finished, though. When I'm ready, I'll talk. But be aware of this. More important than a jersey is the truth. 4 hours and more than 500,000 likes. Caitlyn made a heart-shaped remark, then used 3 words to republish the image. She? Well-deserved. Better. The facts were out. Furthermore, the league was unprepared for what followed. Players, fans, the media, and companies were publicly taking sides in the outrage that began with a leaked X-ray and a few text conversations. And now, they weren't on the league's side. Players begin to speak up. Subtle Instagram stories were the first, then tweets. A flood of uncensored testimony followed. WNBA veteran Wnba posted on Twitter, "You haven't been paying attention if you believe that this is all about Sophie. This league demands everything of us, but it doesn't always return the favor." Written by Aja Wilson. I've witnessed athletes risk their health for this game, but concealing wounds, telling lies to teammates, it's a new low. Then, in 2021, Lexi Brown shared a picture of her wrapped ankle. "They also advised me to remain silent. I'm glad Sophie isn't." Instead of only posting, players banded together. An emergency meeting with the union was allegedly demanded by more than 40 current and past WNBA players in a secret group chat. The response of Caitlyn's sponsors. Caitlyn Clark was more than just a participant. She was a name. Her opposition, or silence, was suddenly turning into a business concern. Fit Fuel Sports Nutrition, one of her main sponsors, released the following statement. "We urge all leagues to operate with transparency and fairness, and we fully support Caitlyn Clark." Optics should never come at the expense of player safety. Within hours, promotions associated with her current squad were discreetly halted by a major garment manufacturer. Her name was not mentioned. They didn't have to, though. The message was unambiguous. Player protection comes before image protection. Journalists investigate further. The green light was now on for investigative journalists. The Chicago Sports Tribune released an in-depth analysis with the title, "The WNBA's Injury Reporting Crisis: An Inside Look at the Culture of Silence." Important points were as follows. 7 former athletes said they were told to downplay their injuries. 2 unnamed team physicians attesting to pressure to keep evaluations internal. In the previous 5 years, at least 3 stars were said to have had injuries that were worse than previously disclosed. Sophie's narrative suddenly became a part of a larger one. This was no longer a scandal. It was a reckoning. Talk shows offer their opinions. The tale went viral and became well known. A segment on Good Morning America was titled "WNBA Under Attack. Is a star player's career endangering injury unknown?" The View argued about it passionately. Joy Behar yelled, "How could they allow her mentor to cry in front of the camera when they knew she wasn't feeling well? Exploitation is what that is." In addition, Sunny Hostin said, "This goes beyond poor aesthetics. At its essence, this is emotional manipulation." On ESPN's First Take, Stephen A. Smith even shared his thoughts. "I want to be really clear. Heads must roll if these charges are accurate. This goes beyond poor management. Simply said, this is treachery." National protests by fans. To criticize the league, supporters staged sit-ins, flash mobs, and even fictitious injury examinations outside of stadiums in Phoenix, Las Vegas, and Chicago. Dozens of supporters showed solidarity during one game by donning ankle braces. Another group displayed placards that read, "She was deserving of truth. You are a disgrace. Allow players to recuperate." Fans started a petition online with the title, "Defend Our Players. Demand transparency right away." In less than 48 hours, 150,000 signatures were obtained. The league attempts to control damage. Finally, the league issued an official statement in response to the growing chaos. "We treat any issue pertaining to player health seriously. To guarantee medical openness, the league is examining internal protocols and collaborating with the players' union." However, the harm had already been done. Don't apologize, no responsibility. Athletes and fans quickly saw through the ambiguous PR jargon. One fan tweeted, "Too little, too late. You can't get out of this by lying." The league made an effort to release statements. Sponsors attempted to remain composed, but in the back office of the WNBA, officially, panic had struck. For what followed was not just sentimental, but also risky from a legal standpoint. The status of Sophie's contract leaks. A sports legal blog published a private document late on Friday night, Sophie Cunningham's contract addendum for 2024-2025. It contained a clause that was subtly introduced in January of this year, Mantadero. Public health disclosures by the player must be in line with the team's communication plan. Before being released, management must authorize medical revisions. A legal analyst clarified, that is a really erratic clause. In essence, it turns the player's medical situation into a public relations choice rather than a medical one. The league made an effort to minimize it. However, the black and white clause was present. They had muzzled Sophie, and fans went crazy when they saw it. They bought her silence. This is not care. This is control. Is this even permitted? The story changed. It wasn't merely a cover-up now. There was a plot. Caitlyn's powerful silent move. Then the shocking part arrived. Reddit received an unsubstantiated tip, which 2 local reporters promptly confirmed. Caitlin Clark had asked her agent and legal team to meet with her privately. For what purpose? To investigate the prospect of leaving her present team? Yes, exactly. The league's top star was thinking of leaving the company that had helped her get started. She allegedly stated, "They can harm any of us if they can harm Sophie in this way. I have to think more broadly." According to sources, she stopped promoting her brand, asked for her next contract to include a player advocacy clause, and started casual conversations to tell her side with media outlets. The mere prospect of her departing caused a riot on the internet. The league falls apart if Caitlyn leaves. Her greatest help to date may have been protecting Sophie. This is the moment of transparency for Brittany Griner. A hint at the last leak. A brand new anonymous Twitter account surfaced just as things were starting to calm down. Truth from the tunnel. Was it their very first tweet? The tape is visible to you. The X-rays have been heard. Listen to the voice. Behind the quiet now, a 3-second audio sample was attached, breathing heavily, weeping, and one spooky line. They said my career would end if I spoke. It was not signed. It was not dated. Fans, however, are certain that it's Sophie. In just 6 hours, the tweet had 8 million views. Now, everyone is inquiring, will the last tape be released soon? And will it permanently topple the league's power structure? Cliffhanger, Collapse countdown moderators on Reddit started adding a 48-hour countdown timer to threads. Live streams were posted by YouTubers with the title, "Tape 2 is on the way. Is Caitlyn's exit verified?" The System vs. Softie ESPN even hinted at this. There is a second recording, according to sources. What's on it has the power to alter everything. And while the sporting community waits, now everyone is focused on a single query. Will Caitlin Clark raise her voice? Or will everything be lost in stillness once more? The reality was concealed. The agony was stilled. Now, though, it's available. And that's only the start. Sophie Cunningham's injury is more than just a medical emergency. It serves as a window into this league's more sinister facets. Agreements, cover-ups, command. They believed Caitlin Clark would remain in the dark. The fans would forget. They believed it could be fixed with a few press releases. However, they were mistaken. The last cassette is now said to be hours away. What about Caitlin? According to sources, she is just one conversation away from revealing all. It's your turn now. Leave a comment with your thoughts. Was Sophie purposefully silenced by the league? Does Caitlin have to leave? What do you suppose the second tape contains? If you support Sophie, hit the like button. To ensure you don't miss the upcoming episode, hit subscribe. For what reason does that audio drop? We'll dissect it, frame by frame, word for word, and have faith in us. It will permanently alter the WNBA.